Hello and welcome you once again in my new session of geography. Students, today's topic is once again water bodies. As in our last session, we have started this lesson of water bodies as we know that about 71% of our earth surface is covered with water, and that is why this earth is also known as a blue planet or watery planet. Water bodies like oceans, seas, gulfs, bays, rivers, lakes, ponds, or in the form of snow and ice. These are our water bodies of our planet. Then we have studied about the ocean. Oceans like the Pacific Ocean, it is the largest ocean. Then we have studied about the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Southern Ocean. And now, today we will start with importance of the oceans. Since the ancient times, there has been a close relationship between man and oceans. Thousands of years ago, man learned to turn the sea from an obstacle into a vast resource. Now, man is turning towards the vast resources of the oceans. Oceans have a great influence on the climate. As we know that from the ancient times, man and the oceans have a very close relationship, and oceans have a great influence on the climate also. Some of the importance of the oceans are like oceans provide a large amount of fresh water through evaporation. As we know that water evaporates, and oceans are so vast that it evaporates, and in return it gives us rain, and that is the fresh water we are getting from the evaporation of water from the oceans. Then they help us in transport of bulky goods at a low cost. In the oceans, a huge ships can cargo ships can move easily, and we can bring or transport a bulky goods at very low cost. Oceans contains minerals and chemicals. They are a major source of food through the marine life. Their tidal waves are very useful. They can generate electricity, and these electricity are known as hydroelectricity. And the most vital thing is that a common salt can be extracted in a large quantities from the sea water, as the sea waters, the ocean waters are salty, so we can extract a large quantities of common salt. Now we will study about the sea. Sea is a large water body of saline water. Sea waters are also very much salty, but it is comparatively much smaller than the ocean. A sea can be an open as a marginal sea like Caribbean Sea, North Sea, Arabian Sea, and Bering Sea. So the Caribbean Sea, the North Sea, the Arabian Sea, and the Bering Sea, these are all marginal sea. And the inland sea. Inland seas are like the Caspian Sea, the Aral Sea, the Dead Sea, and the Black Sea. These are all inland sea. So what are marginal sea? Marginal sea, marginal sea, it is generally a part of the ocean or is the link to it. It is either is a part of a ocean or it is linked to it. and it is bounded by the marine ridges or island. Whereas the inland sea is a large lake and does not have any link with the open oceans. They are completely landlocked. Now, lake. The surface of the earth has many depressions but get filled by the rain water or from the source of water. These depressions, when filled up with water, are called lakes or ponds. In the surface of the earth, there are many depressions. Very filled areas are there, and those depressions areas are filled with rainwater or maybe from other source of water also. But when they are filled up, these are called lakes or ponds. The lakes can be formed at the sea level or even as an higher altitude. Many lakes, even saline water, are many lakes are fresh water, while other have even a saline water. Lakes are found in all the continents and at all heights. So lakes can be found everywhere, in every continent and in every heights. Some of the major lakes in the world are Baikal, Onega, Titicaca, Victoria, Chilika, and the Great Lakes of North America. Lakes are important for the progress of human beings. They provide an efficient and cheap means of transport. The fresh water can be used for irrigation, the farmlands, fishing, domestic uses, industries, and for generating hydroelectricity. So these lakes are also very much effective. They are very efficient and they help in a very cheap mean of transportation. These waters of the lakes are used for irrigation, fishing, domestic uses. They are also uses for in the industries and to produce hydroelectricity. The climate of the surrounding areas can be influenced by the large lakes. They help in the development of tourism industries. Now, rivers. Rivers is an important source of fresh water. A part of the rainwater forms small channels which join together to form streams. The streams, apart from the rainfall, also get water from the groundwater and by melting or glaciers. A number of such streams may join together to create a large stream or river. So, what is river? First of all, river is an important source of fresh water because it gives a huge, it's covered a huge landmass. As you know, in India, in the northern plains is Ganga, Yamuna. It covers a lot of huge mass land and it gives us a large fresh water to us. So rivers is an important source of fresh water. A part of the rainwater from a small channel which join together to form a stream. As we know that during the rainy seasons, water comes from the hills through the streams, and these small streams joined in a large stream, and that large streams are known as river. Rivers generally originate from the mountains. The places of the origin of a river is called its source. From where the river starts, it is known as a source. And where a river enters into the sea, it is called a mouth. So, the river's starting point of the river is known as a source, and when it enters into the sea, where it mixes up with the sea, it is called its mouth. From the source, it is said that its mouth, a river can be divided into three main sections: the upper, the middle, and the lower courses. These are also known as the young, mature, and the old stages, respectively. So, the mouth of river are divided into three main sections: upper, the middle, and the lower courses, or you can say young, mature, and the old stages, respectively. The upper course. The upper course of a river generally lies in the hilly areas. River valley normally develop in the areas of the heavy rainfall and where the rocks are not very hard. Such features are called V-shaped valley. So the upper course, they generally lies in the hilly areas, in the mountain areas. River valleys normally develop in these areas of heavy rainfall and where the rocks are not very hard, and such features are called V-shaped valley. The middle course. The middle course begins when a river leaves the hilly areas and enters the plains. The speed and the energy of the river declines. Sometimes, especially during the floods, the river overflows its banks and causes floods in the surrounding areas. The river also deposits some sediments on the along its bank. So the middle course begins where river leaves the hill area. When river leaves the hill area and it comes to the plain land, where the speed and the energy of the river declines. As you know, the river flows, the Gomti river flows in the middle of our city Lucknow. If you go near the bank of our river Gomti, it will see that the energy of the river declines. It flows very gently. And when during the flood, the river usually overflows there and it causes flood. Surrounding of that Gomti area, it causes floods. That means where the speed of the energy of the river declines, it is known as the middle course. The lower course. As the river approaches the sea or any other large body of water, the speed of the river water decline. This leads to the deposition of sediments on the floor of the river. Thus, the river is also divided into many channels. These are called distributaries. When river approach towards the sea or any other large body of water, their speed of the river decline, and this led a huge deposition of sediments on the floor of the river. Thus the river is also divided into many channels, and these channels are known as distributaries. The distributaries are basically stream of water that branch off from the main river or the main stream or channel before reaching the sea on the ocean. Distributaries, they are basically a stream of water that branch off from the main river. They are the branches of the main river or the main stream or channel before reaching the sea, when it reaches the sea, it makes more of the branches. The deposition of sediments over a large area results into a triangular shape formation which is known as the delta. The Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers together form the largest delta in the world. However, all the rivers do not form deltas. Brahmaputra, the river Brahmaputra and Ganga, they together form a great, the largest delta in this world. When they both entered into the ocean, they made a triangular shape formation near that, and that triangular shape formation is known as delta. All the rivers do not carry water throughout the year. A river does its work to modify and rebuild the relief features in three ways, such as erosion, transportation, and deposition. The important rivers in the world are Mackenzie, St. Lawrence, Mississippi, Amazon, Nile, Rhine, Danube, Indus, Ganga, Yangtze, Wanghe, Ob, Murray. These are some important rivers of the world. And that's all for this session. We once again start our new session with the importance of river and the causes of pollution of water bodies in our next volume. So till then, read this lesson once again very carefully. We will meet again in our next session. Till then, have a nice day.